Partygate has been one of those stories where you hear a lot about it for a long time and then it goes quiet and nothing comes up for a while. And if you're listening to Boris Johnson's allies, they would like you to think that nothing is ever going to come up about it again. The Prime Minister has had his fine and everything is over. Not quite. There's been a couple more developments that could be quite troublesome for the Prime Minister. The first, he's likely to brush off because it's from a group called the Good Law Project that took a lot of legal actions over COVID. But they've gone to the High Court, taking legal action against the Met for the fact that, as the Mirror revealed, the Prime Minister was only sent questionnaires by police for 2 out of the 6 lockdown rule-busting events that he attended in Downing Street. Probably more crucial for the Prime Minister, however, is what's happened from the Privileges Committee of Parliament. Now, this is the Parliament that's able to investigate and find MPs in contempt of Parliament, something that only happens very, very, very rarely, if they are found to have deliberately misled the House of Commons. Now, if you remember, this probe was ordered 2 months ago into claims that Boris Johnson lied to MPs over Partygate when he said that no rules were broken, when he said that no party took place in number 10 on the 13th of November 2020. If you remember, there was then a leaving do for an aide called Lee Kane on that night where people, though not the Prime Minister himself, because he didn't get a questionnaire about it, were fined. What's happened now is that the Privileges Committee has appointed a chair. It's Harriet Harman, who's Mother of the House, very long-serving MP and quite well-respected cross-party. And they are going to start their call for evidence. So they're asking for anyone who has any evidence of whether the Prime Minister lied, that could include civil servants in 10 Downing Street, to come forward by the end of July and give some evidence to them. They can do this anonymously, or they could do it in a session before the MPs and be named in a final report. There will be more meetings to come on whether those hearings are going to be held in public or in private, and we can expect a lot more from the committee in its final report, but this will only come much later in the year. We're talking about in the autumn, and probably late in the autumn, because as soon as this call for evidence ends, there's going to be the summer recess of Parliament. MPs are only back in September. Hearings can't start until kind of at least really the middle of September. And we think there's not going to be a final report until maybe the end of October, beginning of November. However, the committee is clearly going to great lengths to make this as respectable as they possibly can. They've appointed a former Lord Justice of Appeal, Sir Ernest Ryder, to be an independent sort of advisor to the committee. And this is essentially to prejudge if someone, for example Boris Johnson or one of his allies, tries to say of the result of whatever the investigation finds that it's not valid in some way. This is trying to sort of preempt that and say that actually we've done things properly and we've done them rigorously into the rule of law. So what could happen if he is found guilty of lying to Parliament? Technically the answer is not a huge amount. The committee could sort of recommend that people are suspended from Parliament. Suspension of a certain length could even lead to a recall petition where voters have the chance to boot an MP out, but usually it's less than that. What would really be more important is the political effect. If a report was coming back in November, it would be almost 6 months since the last no confidence vote into Boris Johnson. And that would mean that Tory MPs who are looking to change the rules to have another vote after 6 months instead of 12 months would have a window at that point to try and oust the Prime Minister again. So it's definitely a moment of danger for him, but that moment is not now, it's coming up at some point in the future.